Hey everybody, welcome to this latest edition of Snow Talk. This is Wave 3 News meteorologist Brian Good on this Wednesday night. Obviously, we're still tracking a few minor systems in the short term, and then we'll get into some discussion anyway. It started here on Christmas week and see how that is looking. And overall, looking pretty much on track, as always the case. We're trying to keep you updated here on the video blog of how things progress, give you a heads up if we see something interesting down the road, and we discuss it and go from there. We are never trying to hype anything, or have we ever forecast this weekend system to be a winter storm for our area. We just discussed the potentials that that system had. Despite what you may be seeing elsewhere on social media, that's simply not true. So I'm glad you guys trust us and stick with us here. And here's the very latest. As we head into this latest stat here for the day today, no major changes there. 3.7 so far today. It's 1.3. Is where we normally should be, and look at that, still last year way ahead of schedule. Alright, so let's talk about what's on the board tonight. I haven't really changed this a lot. The only minor change was to drop the bar, the Tooks bar down about a half a bar Friday night and Saturday. It still looks to be a fairly minor event. That trend started after the excitement that broke out on the models over the weekend. That trend has been easing off on a daily basis from there on out, and we're seeing that trend continue. Alright, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, we'll discuss that, and I'll hint, anyway, to the last few days of the year. So our western areas of Missouri that will be impacting this later on. Notice the radar's quiet now, but our temperatures, as we're going to be tracking, we're now at the freezing mark here in Louisville, but notice the rain breaking out across the Ozarks and some snow, about 2 inches of snow now in Wichita. It's almost to freezing rain level in Springfield. There's been some sleet every now and then reported, but at this moment they're still reporting. Well, actually, they just switched over to snow. You see that icon there? They were. This is a live link into their site, and they have just flipped over to snow now in Springfield. So you can see this burst here of sleet and snow will continue to work its way to the east and northeast. The problem here in the Ohio Valley, we got to pocket some dry air. That's why the numbers are dropping fast. That's why we're down to 32. Dew points are higher here, so they're not seen as dramatic of a drop. But we are here because dry air cools quicker than humid air. But the problem with that, with moisture moving into it, is it eats it away, especially the eastern side of it. So how much of this is going to make it into central Kentucky before it fades away altogether? That is the big question. And it's important that we answer that question because we do have temperatures below freezing now here in Kentuckiana, and that is important. It only takes a small amount of moisture, whether it's sleet, freezing rain, freezing drizzle, or even some light snow. Slick spots can occur, so we got to watch that. And here's the latest in the rapid refresh model. Let's take this to about 5 in the morning. You see when it moves that precip in to southern Kentucky, it breaks out in a either freezing rain or sleet form initially. Snow in southeast Missouri. This could put down a good solid inch of snow in southeast Missouri based on this look. And then as we get to about, say, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, it never blasts through the Ohio Valley. It just gets shrunk down, ate alive, basically. The dry air just eats at it over here. Still a chance, though, there could be some freezing drizzle or even some snow flurries to work their way in our southern counties, and the snow continues in southern Illinois. But if I were to advance this one more frame, it pretty much just wipes us all up together by the afternoon, and all we get is just a few flakes into Louisville. So my main concern is going to be areas south and west of Louisville, where this can reach at 5 a.m. through about 10 a.m. That is going to be my main issue here for maybe some slick spots. And at this point, we're just going to take it hour by hour. Now, as far as the weekend system, Friday night into Saturday, as we alluded to, past several days, the trend has been to the south. We've nailed that track down off to the southern states here, across the Dixie states, in fact. And the big question was how much of this moisture will get worked northbound, and it still looks fairly light. This is Canadian. Just a glancing blow here of moisture across the Bluegrass State. This looks to be early on Saturday. I think by Saturday afternoon, there's not much falling anywhere close by. So it's going to be a Saturday morning to about midday, and then that's probably going to be about it. There could be some snow, and yeah, if it falls early enough in the day, you may get some grassy accumulations, but once the sun comes up and temperatures are marginal right around the freezing mark, history has proven in this area, when you see light snow events with marginal temperatures during daylight hours, you better bet on no accumulation. And that's pretty much where I think this is going to go. So that's why I haven't put a snow map out. I just don't see it happening. So we'll keep an eye on it, but at this point, nothing exciting seems to be happening for us out of that system. So, sorry, snow lovers, that one's off the charts, the way it's looking. All right, but here is what's coming our way for Christmas week. This is the jet stream. Notice how powerful it is as it arcs its way across the Pacific Ocean. It just dives in the United States, and see how it just digs. And see that curl that goes backwards? Watch it here as we wait into Monday to Tuesday. So it curl backwards into Canada. That's where the low pressure is going to take that dive and then curl north and east. And we call that a cyclogenesis, or a bombing effect of the low pressure. I thought this was interesting. These are from our friends over at WeatherBell. Great site. If you get a chance to sign up for that site, yeah, you got to pay some money for it, but it is worth it to get these images. This is the ensemble from the GFS, and how this is reading is these are the pressures, and it'll make the pressure a brighter color, closer to red. The more the confidence is, the pressure will be a deep low, or less than, say, 1,000 millibars is where I put the threshold at. So what are the chances of a deep low pressure? Pretty high, centered over areas of Minnesota as we head into Tuesday. Diving down in that jet stream flow. Then as we head into Christmas Eve, it takes the low pressure, begins to really slow it down and curl it backwards somewhat in the base of the trough, digs it in deep. This is strong winds here in the Ohio Valley. And then as we head into Christmas Day, especially in the morning hours, it really bombs the low out over eastern Canada, and still got some gusty winds for us, but all the action remains to our north. Alright, so now let's switch over to the Canadian. It is not as confident on a deep low coming in from the north. It has a very weak reflection here in Texas. Remember that, because it's going to be important in a second. A weak reflection in Texas, but a very modest low pressure moving in out of Canada. As we head into Christmas Eve, yeah, it deepens it, but not to the dramatic way that the GFS was doing. These are ensembles again, not the actual models you may be seeing floating around. These are ensemble members, which are a little more accurate to go with this far out. And then you got just gusty winds, but nothing crazy on the backside. And then that low just kind of drifts off the north and east over Nova Scotia, and then pretty much becomes a distant memory after Christmas Day, and things quiet down over the country as cold air seeps in from behind it. Now let me show you the European ensemble. Right off the bat, this should catch your eye. Yes, it's not crazy with low pressure moving in. It's modest about it, but it's also picking up on a modest low pressure out of Texas in the subtropical jet. We've got two showing up. Well, what happens when they both head eastbound? They begin to merge Christmas Eve right over our area, the Ohio Valley. And notice the pressures get, brighter reds show up here. The pressure is deepening at this point. The low is digging right over the Ohio Valley. It's two of them together merging, and then they finally agree on one spot to hang out at, and that's over the Great Lakes. And wow, hello, Merry Christmas. Big old bombed low here across the Great Lakes, and very strong winds on the south side. But here's what's interesting is after it leaves, it doesn't go to Nova Scotia. It actually wants to track north and northwest into central areas of Canada, retrogrades. That would allow another low pressure to drop in, and that's why you're seeing some light reflection of some kind of low pressure developing on the backside or underneath that could come in a couple days after Christmas. So, interesting setup there. Now, I will say with this kind of a play, when you get these bombed out lows tracking like they are through this area, it's not exactly a great snow producer for us when it comes to heavy snow. It just isn't likely. You're going to get snow showers and snow flurries, a lot of wind. I mean, very blustery, wind gusts potentially up to 40 miles per hour, wind chills, single digits, if not lower, especially if you go by the Euro standards. And yeah, some light snow accumulations, but to be a white Christmas, you got to have 1 inch on the ground, and I don't even know if this can produce 1 inch. But it'll look wintry outside, and that may satisfy some of you. Right now, as far as this element's gone, keeping it as it is. High risk for a snow potential here for Christmas Day and cold weather. Will it be a white Christmas? I don't know. Could we see a dusting? I think our change is pretty good on that. We just have to figure out. We got plenty of time to watch this, but it's interesting. The Euro's picking up the idea that southern low coming up from the south and merging together. The Euro did not do very well on this weekend, did it? So take it with a grain of salt on how that's going to play out, because the other models are really dominant with the northern feature, not much on the southern part. So a northern feature, yeah, it would give us rain to snow showers and gusty winds, but nothing crazy. But none of them, as you saw, show it being 60 degrees and sunny for Christmas. We can pretty much rule that off the table. Now we just have to figure out which one is right when it comes to the wind speeds and also the potential for snow amounts. That's pretty much our big issue we're going to have for Christmas Eve. All right, that's it for right now. Thanks, as always, guys, for listening to the video blog, and thanks for your patience, and thanks for not buying in all the craziness you may see on social media. It's not worth it. Let's have fun, guys. It's weather. We're here to talk about it, and let's have a good time, and we'll always keep an eye on it. I'll have an update on that freeze and rain potential to our west coming up tonight at 11.